Welcome to TryPod Trivia Night. This is the 8th and final show of the year, so thank you for joining me. This weekly sports quiz, we're going to test your knowledge, you'll pick up some pub ammo, and hopefully have a bit of fun in 5 rounds, all under 30 minutes during this show, brought to you by myself, Winnie, in partnership with Top Sport. 25 points up for grabs each week, 5 rounds, 5 points per round, and this, as I say, last one, so Christmas theme. But I will just say we did the major prize draw last week. Jeff Biala, Cam Begeni-Collins, if you're watching, you guys were drawn in the top 3. So you've won prizes, but you've got to reach out. I got in contact with Lachlan Hall. I've got a reserve draw winner standing by. But you guys have got until Friday night to reach out. YouTube comments or get in contact with me at Jacob Wynn on Facebook to claim your prize. There's tickets, jerseys, and pod merch up for grabs, thanks to Top Sport as well as TryPod. Let's roll straight into round 1, where the topic is happy holidays. Let me know if you're playing along in the chat. Always more fun if you play along live, if you are watching, and keep your score, see how you do go. Again, anyone scoring in the 20s really knows their sport. And as we said, the theme, happy holidays. So sporting events centered around some holiday occasions. I'm going to ask you question 1. Who got 6 at the G? I'm hoping that I'm coming through all right. I can't see my comment feed, but I've had some tech difficulties as I've been uploading this show. Now coming through, thanks Tom, Carlos. Scotty Boland is correct in 2021 on debut in the Ashes Boxing Day test. How good is that? And he took 6 for 7. England was skittled for 68. And I'm sure, like myself, you can remember how his commentary almost word for word. Boland's got 6 at the G. Build the man a statue. And thanks for the feedback, guys, coming through. All right. So Scotty Boland answered to question 1. Question 2. Wild Oats 11 has won which event a record 9 times? The answer is the Sydney to Hobart Yacht Race, Boxing Day being the theme. Tom's onto it there. So a yearly event, and no boat has won it more often in terms of line honours than Wild Oats 11. Well done as well. Dane, Huss, Lockie, Paul. Cheers, guys. Question 3. On Christmas Day this year, we have some arch rivals and the 2 most successful franchises in NBA history meeting up. Can you name those teams? The 2 most successful teams in terms of winning championships in the NBA who do play each other on Christmas Day. Well done, Tom. Again, he's correct. Celtics and Lakers, 17 championships each. Boston fans will tell you that LA claimed 5 titles when their franchise was in Minneapolis. So it's not as if LA has won 17 times. Nonetheless, they were the Lakers. And they both have 10 more championships than the next closest team, which I think is the Golden State Warriors. And that's franchises moved locations as well. But the Warriors had won 10. Or 7, I think, 7, which is 10 less than the 17. So crazy rivalry and crazy dominance by Lakers and Celtics. And can't wait to watch them hook up Christmas Day, which will be Boxing Day Aussie time. And the theme of holidays, the former Aussie PM Bob Hawke once suggested Aussies should get a holiday when he said, any boss who sacks someone for not turning up today is a bum. That was after Australia won what? Well done to those who got the America's Cup. Who would have thought after all these shows and no sailing related questions, you got 2 in the first round this week. America's Cup 1983. The Aussies won it there, breaking a long run of American dominance. Question 5. Who plays on Good Friday every year in the NRL? And I will give you the point if you can name either of the sides. Tradition has lasted for over 10 years now. We always get the Easter bunnies. So that's the Rabbitohs. That could have been a good one to guess. Plenty of people getting South's dogs. Well done, everyone in the chat. That's right. Souths against Canterbury, the Canterbury Bulldogs. There have been some nail biters over the years, although as Canterbury struggled and the Rabbitohs have been pretty strong in recent times, the Dogs haven't won since 2017, but they look to be on the improve. If you're a Doggies fan, let us know you're excited. You've got more recruits coming in, namely Stephen Crichton joining the side next year. So better times could be around the corner. How did you guys go after round one? You got anywhere from 0 to 5 points. And we're going to move to round two, where we always pick a category and have to name 5 from that category. And this week, the name 5 is NFL MVP. So players that have won the MVP in the NFL, there's way more than 5 in the history of the NFL. Take this time to also mention if you're looking for a bookie for any type of multi where you're trying to name 5 or more legs, and that can be a same game or regular multi, give Toppy a go. Their odds really stack up. We've got NFL itself. There's a massive slate coming up over the holiday period. NBA, of course, Big Bash. Top Sport supports this show, but just check their price and see if it's the best available to you. As I always say with this category, round 2, if it's your area of expertise, you'll know it easily, and you can probably get more than 5, many more than 5. So test yourself. How many can you remember, NFL fans? If you're not an NFL fan at all, just think of how many players you can name, because the most famous ones may very well appear on the list of MVP recipients. And as I said before, we got a game Friday this week. There's 2 games on Sunday. This is all Aussie time. And then a full slate of NFL games on Christmas Day, a triple header Boxing Day Australian time, which is Christmas Day in America. So absolute banquet of footy or football to enjoy over the holiday, especially if you've got a little bit of time off. It is a really exciting time to watch the games too. Playoff positioning, it's just a couple more weeks to go until the playoffs. Give you a slightly more time to have a think and to shoot your answers in before we reveal the names that might have been on your list. Okay, Ray Finkel, I think he was denied the MVP, but who could forget? Laces out. Tom looks to have done well there. Let's put some answers on the screen, and this is just the ones that are most recent or most famous. I'll read them out, in fact, but I can see plenty of people have submitted a lot of correct answers. So Mahomes, most recently, dual or 2-time MVP. Aaron Rodgers won it 4 times. Lamar Jackson recently. Tom Brady, no surprise there. He did win it 3 times. Matt Ryan, Cam Newton each had a great season. Peyton Manning was a 5-time winner. And then others from back in the day, if you followed, many years ago, you might have had Kurt Warner, double 2-time winner. Brett Favre won it 3 times. Steve Young, a couple of times. Montana also won it a couple of times. So well done, Tom, Nate, Lockie. I will give you a point that Facebook user who had Ray Finkel. Now, someone else submitted Dan Marino. I don't have him on my list, but I didn't put every single name. Seems like I feel like he would have won one, knowing his place in NFL history, but that would be one where you've just got to double check, especially if you did have any other names. Like I can see there, Nate just naming players like Beckham Jr., no. Sherman, no. Drew Brees, I don't believe ever got one. Russell Wilson's never got one. Gronk didn't, but Newton's. You'd still had a couple of these. You still had Brady, Manning, Rodgers, Newton. So you still score 4 there because we don't subtract any points for getting it wrong. Lockie had Russell Wilson too, but he has not ever won the MVP, I don't believe. Okay, now you've got to name just one person from the world of sport. That is after you add up your score from round 2. and then we'll move into the Who Am I round. So who am I? It's just one answer, but it's 5 clues to get you there. And the less clues you need, the more points you will score. And the very first clue is I was born with the initials CC. Five points if you already know it. Have a shot even if you don't yet, because no negatives for being wrong. 1 guess per clue. Clue number 2, I won an Olympic gold medal. Clue number 3, in 1999, I was named Sport Illustrated's Sportsman of the Century. Not putting any comments up on the screen, but I can see some people have already got it. Clue 4, I did not compete in my sport from the age of 25 to 29 after refusing to be conscripted to the military. And final clue, I was a 4-time WBA heavyweight champion. And I saw some people got this after clue number 1. Well done, Mike and Paul had Muhammad Ali, who, like some of our other Who Am I's, was born with a different name originally. Cassius Clay, he was born before he converted to Islam. He won the gold medal in boxing, of course, at the 1960 Rome Olympics. That was before he turned professional. He's considered one of the greatest athletes of all time, and it is really wild when you consider that he didn't compete for 4 years during his physical prime due to his objection to the Vietnam War. And of course, the other clue that's not even among those 5 is probably that if you remember the bonus visual question a week ago, I put this very photo up on the screen to see if people knew the year that took place. And that was Ali knocking out Liston for the major prize draw, or a bonus spot in the major prize draw. So maybe you had that in the back of your mind. Maybe that helped you get the answer tonight. In any case, 5 points if you got it after 1 clue, 1 less point for every additional clue you needed until you got it. Add your score up. And sorry, guys, but I had a technical meltdown as I was kind of setting up the show tonight. And it's resulted in losing the slides for round 4. And to retrieve them would have delayed me, and I wouldn't have been able to be up at the usual time. So I didn't want to mess anyone around. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys, but we're going to skip round 4 tonight. So that is going to mean less points up for grabs. Tonight's going to be out of 20. And it does also mean there's just 1 round to go for the rest of the year. If you have enjoyed this show, I will also ask just even little things like whether you comment or hit the like button. It helps us with our metrics in terms of deciding if we run anything like this again. Let's go into the final round of 2023 for TryPod Sports Trivia. Where it always helps if you've been paying attention, because we link round 5 into the last 7 days. So I want to know which legendary jockey won the final 3 races of his career on the weekend. You couldn't have scripted it much better. Damien Oliver at Ascot, which is in his hometown of Perth. Well done to those Lockie Trooper who got it. Miracle ride in the final race that he did, ride home the winner by all accounts. He's 51 years old, but based on how he won the weekend, maybe he's giving it away too soon. What a career. He's had 129 Group 1 winners, including 3-time Melbourne Cup winner as well. Question 2, who was man of the match in the first test between Australia and Pakistan? That coincidentally was also over in Perth. talked a little bit about the contentious selections and a little bit of the drama leading into the first test. And I wonder, Paul has submitted his guess of Dave Warner, who scored 164 in the first innings and certainly silenced the doubters, but he did not do enough to get man of the match. In the opinion of whoever votes, that is, Mitch Marsh, who also is a hometown boy from Perth, had 90 in the first innings, 63 not out in the second innings, and a wicket, and that did trump Warner. Guess you got to factor in Warner duck second innings. Maybe that tipped it. I saw some people were upset that Warner should have got that, but it was in fact Mitch Marsh. Well done, Lockie. You got that correct. Are you aware that in soccer / football, the Club World Cup is currently on? It's taking place in Saudi Arabia. We had the semi-finals overnight the last 2 nights. So I'd like to know, for those who are following along, paying attention, can you name either of the sides that are in the final of the Club World Cup? If you're not following, take a guess. Because there's a fair chance you would have got it like Tom did with Man City. I mean, they are the reigning European champions. And well done, Paul, who also knew Fluminense from Brazil, who Man City will meet in the final. City beat Uruguay Reds this morning. And Fluminense, the champions of South America, they'll meet. Funnily enough, though, they're not gone as well as they have in past years. City, a couple of injuries and a loaded schedule. I saw them blow a 2-0 lead at home to Crystal Palace and only got a draw there. And that actually leaves City 4th in the Premier League. Still plenty of time, but not exactly where they're used to being. But the task at hand is the Club World Cup final with an opportunity to add to their ever-growing trophy cabinet. Now, Jerome Luai signed one of the richest contracts in NRL history this week for a club that's looking to add to their trophy cabinet, which is a bit more sparse. Who did Luai sign with? I know plenty of pod followers are Woody fans. Tom says no one yet, but by all reports, he is going to be joining West Tigers. That's the answer I'm looking for. And I felt like, was it last week or the week before, we brought up that finals drought, which is, an unwanted record for West. So let's acknowledge something positive. Yes, they've had to pay top dollar, but to sign one of the best players in the league in their prime with plenty of great years ahead of them, you've always got to be excited. And when your coach is Benji Marshall and plays the same position as Jerome Luai and gets to coach him, I actually, be honest, I'd be even more excited if they can negotiate an early release and get him there, next year rather than 2025. But we'll see how that all plays out. West Tigers is the answer, though. As Ryan says, is the Luai signing official? Look, I don't know if you're going to get me on a technicality. Just from what I've heard across the board, it's a done deal. So I'm saying West Tigers, unless anyone else out there can prove me wrong. Who set the record for the highest purchase price in the history of the IPL? I saw some answers shoot through before I even spat the question out there. So well done, Tom, Lockie Hall. We'll play the graphic for one last time this year. Sorry, not the graphic, the sound effect. Mitchell Starc went for $4.4 million, a record in the IPL, just moments after Pat Cummins previously set the record at $3.6 million price tag. So help me out, cricket fans. Is that as simple as saying that Mitchell Starc is the most in-demand T20 cricketer in the world? Is he considered the best in the world? Is there a reason someone like Maxwell wouldn't have gone for even more? Just curious. But nonetheless, Mitchell Starc, the answer there. And that concludes round 5. So again, there were 5 points up for grabs there, guys. If you tally that up, of course, your score tonight won't be out of 25. Apologies again. The Gremlins getting in, ripping away round 4. So you actually will have a total score that could be anywhere from 0 to 20. So when we look at the tiers, let's take away 5 points and say If you scored anywhere from 17 to 20, you are a GOAT tonight. 12 to 16 is All-Star. 8 to 11 is Champ. 3 to 7 is Grasshopper, and 0 to 3, thank you for playing. If you stuck it out and you only got 0 to 3, you do deserve your participation trophy. Lockie says, Maxwell already signed and retained, wasn't part of the auction. There you go. Shows my understanding still. Impressive for those Aussie fast bowlers that did break those bidding records. So that concludes the show. Let us know in the comments how you went tonight, guys. If you just caught the show this week or in recent weeks, feel free, be my guest, check out those past episodes, whether it's a podcast feed or YouTube or Facebook. You can play whenever you've got spare time, especially if you have any over the holidays. And if you enjoy it, there is heaps of great knowledge amongst it and topics that you might really find interesting that you can have conversations about, again, over these holidays. You get the opportunity to catch up with friends and family. If you do like this show, pass it on to friends and family as well. As I said, it's the last show for the year, but the last show that I'll make for now, this kind of as part of this series. But I did make it in a way that it could be relatively evergreen, where it could be visited at any time. People can play and still enjoy it. And I hope you did. And so thank you to all of you who tuned in tonight or anytime during the series and supported. And a big thank you to TopSport as well. They took a chance on supporting it, this new idea for a new type of series. One last bit of housekeeping. Again, Cam Begani Collins, Jeff Biala, if you're watching, or if you guys know those fellas, final chance for them to get in contact with us, because we can't contact someone that just comments on a YouTube video. If they want to get their prize, I'd hate for them to miss out. I'll be back in 2024. Next item on the agenda, maybe NFL playoffs. Maybe we do something with Nettie for that. Can't wait for that. I do also appear on the Wiki YouTube channel every single week, talking NFL and NBA if you want more from me. But I completely understand if you want a break from me, and I hope that you get a chance to have a break over the holiday period. So stay safe, my friends. All the best, and Lego.